Everyone's favorite is back. Keke Palmer's podcast is back, and it's too good. She has questions for days, and now she's diving into the brains of entertainment's best and brightest to get some answers. From Snoop Dogg to Jordan Peele, to Quinta Brunson, to John Stamos, to Amy Poehler, Keke is getting to the bottom of the burning topics that keep us up at night. If you love Keke, you'll love, baby, this is Keke Palmer. She's her most authentic self, going all in on everything in her life and the lives of her celeb guests. Follow, watch, and listen to Baby, This is Keke Palmer on the Wondery App or wherever you get your podcast. And now watch full episodes on Keke's own YouTube channel. Listen to Baby, This is Keke Palmer early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus. Welcome to the Think Loud Crew podcast. We are three moms getting real with parenthood, relationships, and the WTF moments of our daily lives. Today, we have a special guest from Love is Blind Season 7 on Netflix. Let's give a warm welcome to the beautiful Alex Byrd, everyone. Thank you, Alex, for joining us today.
Yes, thank you.
I know, it's so crazy that it worked out and you're in town.
Yeah, no, literally. I really love that it happened that way.
Yeah, because we've talked to other people from Netflix, but we've always had to Zoom. And I feel like you can't get, like, the vibe.
No, you need to be in person.
Yeah, you have to be in person. Trust me, we are going to try to get to a few of your other castmates, and it's probably going to have to be over Zoom. Yeah. But I was happy
that you can make it here.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming.
Thanks for having me.
So before we jump into all of the juiciness from this season, and when I say juicy, I have never felt so like I need to know everything about a show.
Yes.
Invested is the word, okay? I've never felt so invested to where now I'm like, damn, I get why people become invested into, like, Teen Mom.
I get that.
Okay, because I watch our show, and I'm like,
like, why are you invested in?
Yeah.
Me? Why do you want to know my life?
Yes. But then I was watching Love is Blind, and I'm like, damn, let me go look at this person's Instagram. And then I'm, like, on TikTok, and I'm like, hey, why the fuck am I up at 3 a.m. watching TikToks of Love is Blind?
All the rabbit holes.
Every rabbit hole I have gone down. So I get it. But before we jump into all that, basic question, why did you want to do Love is Blind?
My friends used to make this joke that my husband is not in DC, and I was like, no, don't manifest that. But when they started doing casting, I was like, if he isn't in like DC, this is the one time I'm going to figure it out. So
okay.
I just took the opportunity and ran with it.
So you applied on, like, through, how did you figure out the casting?
So I applied online, but then also I had a producer reach out to me through a friend who almost did the Dallas season.
No way.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Are you born and raised DC?
Silver Spring, Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when they did the DC one, that reaches out to DC, apparently, like Virginia.
The DMV, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So that's why you were saying outside.
Yeah,
but
they
still
went as
close.
far north as Baltimore and as far south as like Frederick.
Okay,
Oh, wow.
yeah. Got it.
Okay.
So, dang, I didn't think about that. I don't know why. I just thought everybody would be like in like a 10-mile radius of each other.
No, because there were people who were mentioning like Virginia, like
Yeah, one girl was saying that she was.
I'm like, wait, what?
Who said they were driving from like Baltimore?
Marissa, yeah.
She was doing law school in Baltimore and then coming back to like DC, which is like
that's a drive.
That's a drive.
I'm gonna say we know that drive.
Did you have any hesitation of you're going through casting, right? And you're getting the responses back. They're asking you for more like self-tapes or whatever. So then when you're getting towards the end, you're like, damn, this is probably going to happen. Did you have any hesitation?
No, because I didn't really think about it. I had so much going on. They would hit me up like every 2 weeks, like, oh, okay, can you fill this out?
Yeah.
Oh, can we do this interview? Oh, can you send this? Can you fill out this questionnaire? It's a 6-month long process. So
okay.
over time, I'm like, oh, these people email me again.
Here they are again.
I'm like, oh, wait, I'm
Here
still,
you go.
and it's like, it's still in the
this?
back of my mind, but I'm like, it's also a possibility they'll be like, okay, sorry. And I'm like, okay,
Right.
I don't want to get my hopes up. So,
Yeah.
That's right.
yeah.
When they told you, okay, now you're doing the show, how did you process that?
Oh, I went in panic mode because they told me like 3 days before. They're like, okay, you're good. And I'm like,
What do you mean I'm good?
I have to literally tell my job. I have to figure out what's going on. Like, it was just so much that was happening. So I'm like, I have to prep and then tell my family, hey, I'm going to be gone. You won't be able to contact me for 3 weeks. And I talk to them like every day. So it's just trying to transition for that.
So when you guys are in the pods, is there any outside contact?
No.
No phones?
No phones, no TVs, no clocks. I had my watch the whole time. It's just for you to focus on dating.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Sorry, I didn't even think
they
about
wouldn't
that.
even let us read. When I did Are You the One, they would cover the seasoning labels because there was one day I just felt so dumb. I just felt like my brain was just getting dumber by the second. I was in the kitchen like, let me just read this fucking Lowry seasoning pack. Oh my God. And they came and they put tape over it. They were like, nope. Brain power you can't have.
They let us read. They wouldn't let us listen to music. I think somebody brought like a headset or something, and we passed it around like, oh,
I love
we
and they
couldn't have
came in and
music.
snatched that up. They're like, yeah,
Really?
no, we're done with that.
We didn't even get like pens or paper.
How does that make you feel when like you have nothing else to?
Well, you know what's crazy? The war with Gaza had just started when we left, and so like all of this was happening, and I'm like, what's happening on the outside world?
Oh, that's why Rams had brought up some of his feelings in that conversation. And I was like, I wonder if it was the timing.
Yeah, we literally left. Nothing was happening, and then we came out, and there was a whole there was like a whole war.
That's that's insane to think
So
about.
they do that. This is what I've learned. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is what I think. Is that
I think about that.
when you do house shows and they want you to connect at an accelerated rate, they take everything away from you that is a distraction. So now, if we're all stuck in this room for 3 weeks and we don't have a TV, a phone, a watch, music, we're forced to talk.
Yeah.
To
You're
each
forced
other.
to build those relationships.
You're forced to just talk. And then all of a sudden, you're like 3 days in there, and now I've told this stranger my whole life story, all my fears, in like the darkest day of my life. And now I'm like, we're best friends forever.
Literally.
Like, you cannot get rid of me.
Yeah.
Literally.
It's
I
so,
love
it's like an accelerated.
Like, actually.
I do love you. Thank
So
you.
I think when people online say like, damn, these people are so crazy for falling in love so quick, I don't think that people understand the social like mind fuck that you're in when you're in these settings where you don't have a choice but to talk to this person all day. You fall so much quicker.
Yeah.
About like how long do you feel it took for those effects to like take hold on you?
Probably like day 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Because we're on set for 12 to 15 hours a day, and like that's all you're doing. And what they do is they give you like a schedule every day, like, okay, you have a date, round 1. They don't give you times, of course, so it's like round 1 date, round 2 you're in the women's quarters, and you don't know who you're gonna go on a date with. You don't even know how many dates you're gonna have if somebody else connected with you. So it's just like you're just waiting, like, okay, am I gonna see who I
You don't
want
have
to
a
see?
clock.
Right.
Watch.
Right. I'm
You don't even know.
am I gonna be talking to this person, or am I gonna talk to this person? And sometimes it's unfortunate when you walk in a room and you're like, oh, I'm talking to this person. I want to talk.
How long are you supposed to stay in the pod to talk to the person?
Every date is different. So the first date where we do like speed dating everyone is like 10 minutes.
Okay.
And then after that, we go from first 15 to like 8. They cut it in half, kind of. And then we go like 30 minutes, then an hour, then an hour and a half. The longest was like 5.5 hours.
Are you ever
is for a
picking
date.
who you want to be in the pod, or is the man in the sky always picking who's in the pod?
Oh, are we getting to pick?
Yeah.
Well, we basically write out on a sheet like who we want to continue to see.
Okay.
And
Okay.
hopefully it matches. And if it
Yeah.
doesn't, that's
Is
kind
that
of
what you
almost
guys
like-
are
it's
jotting
almost
down
like
in your
swipe.
notebooks?
Yeah.
Is that what you guys are jotting down in your notebooks?
Well, in our notebooks, we're literally just remembering certain things because we're
About that
dating so
person.
many people.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, we talked about this. What was the last thing we talked about?
Yeah.
And then also, they do give us questions,
No way.
which is great. Like
Right.
some of those questions I still like have.
Yeah,
to this
that
day,
was
like-
my next question was, is there a specific question or topic that did help you to connect on a deeper level?
Yeah, they'll have a day where like, okay, today we're going to talk about sex and ask about this, or today we're going to talk about, religion, or we're going to talk about household gender roles or whatnot. whatnot.
Yeah.
And so you start to get on a deeper level, like, what's your biggest insecurity? What's the worst thing that's ever happened to you? What is a marriage look like to you?
So do you think that in those prompts and questions, because watching it, some people online say that you and Tim became trauma bonded in the pod because of him sharing about his sisters.
Yeah.
Would you say that that's true or false?
Yes and no. We definitely had a lot of trauma dumping on both ends. Unfortunately, you didn't see some of the things that I was saying that I related to. But we had a lot of things in common, and we would joke around all the time, and it just wasn't shown. We had a lot of similar interests and things, and he was really obsessed with like NASCAR and stuff, so we talked about that. And like, you know, I went to fashion school, and that was the whole reason why we had the painting date, because art school, like that was my thing. And so you clearly see like the difference in skill in that. So it's just you do. But like it was just so much that was left open. It's like we connected on like our love for our family and you know, resilience and things that we've overcome and you know, goals that we had in life and where we really saw each other in each other's lives. And he was my number one from like day 2, and I was his number one the entire way. So it was just easy.
It was an easy combo.
In the pod, it was easy.
It was easy because for me, I always felt seen and chosen by him, and I really liked that because I didn't really get that a lot in the outside world.
Yeah, I understand that.
Who
So
important.
were your top 3?
My top, you're gonna laugh. My top 3 was Tim, Tyler, and then this guy named Tamar that didn't make the cut.
It always blows me how there's all these other people that you see, but you just never see them in the pod.
Yeah.
You just see them being supportive in the house, and I'm like, I want to see you.
Come here. Who are you?
Yeah, it's so crazy to be like, I was on this show, but it's like, well, where are you?
Yeah.
If you go to scene 2 and I'm in the back in the kitchen, I'd be hot.
I'm making the French toast.
Exactly.
Those are my hands.
Damn, that sucks.
Because you spend so much time away from your life, and then you just come back, and it's like, okay, that was that. And you don't even know what the edit's going to look like.
Yeah, and it kind of, I feel bad for situations like that because a lot of those girls did connect with a lot of guys, and some did continue relationships after, and you just never saw
know.
it. Yeah.
So there's still relationships outside of the pods that we just don't know about.
They're not continuing now, but that did continue after, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good to know. I like that.
So I have a question. Can you share any behind the scenes moments that didn't make the show, but significantly like changed your experience within the show?
I mean, behind the scenes. Well, okay.
Something that didn't make it that we have
That would kind of clarify maybe another scene that we saw.
Oh, well, I mean, for sure, the fight in Mexico.
Fight, yeah.
Yeah.
That was my
Let's
next
talk
question.
about the fight in Mexico.
That was my next question. What happened in the unseen fight in Mexico?
Okay. So, essentially, you saw us at the pool.
Yes.
And everyone was having so much fun and everything was great. But what they didn't show was me and Marissa had a sidebar conversation.
Okay.
And she was just kind of telling me how much she loved Ramses and he reminds her of this and that. And I was like, that's how I feel about Tim. He reminds me of home and my dad and everything because they had a lot of things in common. And then I immediately just started to miss family because my dad, as you saw, has MS.
Yeah.
He had been checked into a rehab facility right before I left. And it was it was a good thing because he had 24-hour care and, it kind of took a little pressure off of us as a family. But, you just,
Yeah.
it's
You're
okay.
gonna worry.
And that's someone I talk to every day. And so for me, day 17, not speaking to him, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of getting emotional. I kind of want to wrap filming. I kind of just want to take a shower and go to bed.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when we were walking back to our hotels, he thought I was so mad at him. And I'm like, no, I just don't feel like talking. And he's like, what was said to you? I was like, nothing. I just don't feel like talking. I'm not trying to break down while we're at the pool. I'm just like, please just stop talking about it. I just want to go back to the hotel and shower and go to sleep. And eventually I was going to tell him, but at that moment, I just didn't
You were
want
still
to.
in the moment
You're like,
of
let
it.
me take a moment. Let me before
literally.
I ball.
You're
Yeah.
still
Literally.
processing.
And so when we got back to the room, I'm in the, they give you the video camera to like record your night dates and whatnot. And so I'm like, come on, babe, let's just like, record this night date. And he was like not having it. He was like, no. You starts like increasingly getting like really persistent on trying to understand what is causing all this distress. And he's like, you're going to talk to me. What is going on? And it's like, he thinks he is just a passionate and he projects his voice and it carries, but he was actually yelling.
Yeah.
And, I was like in the bathroom, I'm isolated, I'm backed in the corner, and I'm like, I don't know how to communicate with you. You're like in my face, and I'm trying to explain to you, I'm not mad at you, but I also don't feel safe to open up to you right now because you're yelling at me.
Yeah.
Which turned into me like crying and trying to calm him down. And production was still outside of our door. So because production was outside of our door, I didn't want them to come in and like see him yelling and then be like, oh, let's get cameras and record him.
Yeah.
I didn't want him to look bad.
Do you think that if they were to come into that scene that it would have heightened it, or would he have seen the cameras and calmed down?
I honestly don't know.
Do you think he was already at that level of just he was just going?
He was pretty gone. I did not recognize him.
Because sometimes the cameras do make it worse.
Yeah.
And there are people who are like, oh, the camera's here. Now let me really put on a show.
I don't think he would have did that. I don't think he would have overdone it, but I think he probably would have just been like annoyed and just continued where he was. But I mean, who knows? I just know I was so focused on making sure he didn't look bad in that moment because he's clearly trying to express himself. I'm trying to de-escalate the situation.
Yeah.
But I'm literally like motioning to him like, calm down, please. Like, I need you to like lower your voice. And he's like, no, I'm not having it. You're going to talk to me. You're going to listen to what I'm saying. And I'm like, okay, I have to get a production involved because I can't calm you down.
Yeah.
Like,
And I also still don't really know you.
Right. Is that when you were trying to calm him down and putting your hands up? Is that when he said that you were trying to shut him up? Like, putting your hands on his mouth?
Because it wasn't a physical altercation. Like, I'm not grabbing his face or putting my hands physically on his mouth. It was more like covering it in emotion. Like, do not yell because there are people outside and I don't want them to want to like record you in this moment.
Like, let's not do this.
So you guys never had any physical contact?
Not at all.
Your hands never touched his face?
Not at all.
Or his mouth?
Not at all. Nope.
Because in that scene, it made it seem physical. It made it seem like you like were pushing him or like took it to the next crazy fight.
No, I didn't want it to get like that.
The way his face and the way he was sitting, like I was like, damn, what did the girl do?
I feel like sometimes when watching it, I feel like I was in trouble. Like, yes, like
his body language,
like the body language.
It was this for me. It was
it
it was like very much like, oh shit,
the dead stare got me. I'm like, why are we just not looking at her?
But it's crazy to hear you now say that fight was not physical at all.
At all.
Right.
And it's kind of insane how it's been spun that way because.
Yes.
It was literally just me trying to protect him from production. That's all it was.
And I love that.
Now, would you say if Tim was here, would he agree or disagree?
Oh, he would agree.
No way.
That you were trying to protect him
Yes,
from...
and he said
and
it to the guys the next day, too. Correct.
Yeah.
He knows it didn't get physical. And he even told Tyler the next day, he was like, yeah, no, she just protects me. He knew what I was doing.
Why did that give me chills in a way? You're a good woman because...
That's definitely not what it makes it.
It makes it seem like you were like the villain in that moment.
And the whole time they make it seem like I did not like him. We just had that playful banter, whether it looked playful, and sometimes I do look annoyed. That's just my face. But honestly, like I truly did love that man, and I truly wanted to hold him down. I'm like, no, we're gonna whether even we get to the altar or not, I'm not going to make you look crazy. Yeah. And that was the first conversation we had when we spent the night together. I said, I'm not going to embarrass you, and I don't want you to embarrass me. Yeah. We're going to always look out for each other, whether this ends on a good note or a bad note.
Yeah. I wish it could have stayed there.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's the best way to go into it because it's no secret that you're on a TV show. They do want it to do well, and that does involve drama. That does involve... scenes that don't make people look in their best light. But to have a partner that you guys are on the same page, it could have really helped this now after effect that now all of America is watching and judging and taking things in bits and pieces. Because I would say watching it, I honestly didn't think you liked him.
Everyone thought that.
I honestly thought that. I'm like, wait, but she doesn't like him.
Yeah.
So, does she love him?
But then when I watched the scene of like the final breakup, I was like, oh no, she cares. You can tell that you were hurting, but you weren't going to sit there and just like break down for this man who was so just like, I'm done.
Right.
But I could tell in that moment, okay,
so confusing
you cared.
Everyone's favorite is back. Keke Palmer's podcast is back and it's too good. She has questions for days, and now she's diving into the brains of entertainment's best and brightest to get some answers. From Snoop Dogg to Jordan Peele, to Quinta Brunson, to John Stamos, to Amy Poehler, Keke is getting to the bottom of the burning topics that keep us up at night. If you love Keke, you'll love, baby, this is Keke Palmer. She's her most authentic self, going all in on everything in her life and the lives of her celeb guests. Follow, watch, and listen to Baby, This is Keke Palmer on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcast. And now watch full episodes on Keke's own YouTube channel. Listen to Baby, This is Keke Palmer early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
So even for context for that, when we have the reveal is such an uncomfortable moment. And I'm just awkward in general.
Yeah.
And we've spoken about that, me and him. And I know it looks like I was just not even liking him, but I was really just uncomfortable. And then he's making these jokes, and I'm like, okay, you're ruining the moment. Like, I can't.
You're like, make it a good moment.
I don't know what to do. But no, like, I was definitely into him the entire time. It was until things started getting weird, like, especially after the fight, and then trying to literally abide by what he wanted me to do. He just had a lot of things that he saw me as, and I compromised to the point where even production was like, do you feel like you're self-sacrificing? And I'm like, I don't know.
Can you give an example of what those things are that he wanted you to do?
I mean, I think when going into it, I told him how independent I was, how, I love my job, I love working, I love all the things. And I think he wanted that, but unfortunately, I think what he was prepared for, or the tools that he has for, is a docile woman who is just very quiet, doesn't have an opinion, who would just be in the kitchen and just do whatever.
Cleans,
and does the...
I kind of got that vibe
That's
from
not
him,
me.
where it's like,
I'm gonna do my
rather than having like a partner,
Yeah.
it's like he wanted to just lead and like that was it.
He wanted to be the man.
Yeah.
He wanted to be the...
Yeah.
He wanted the gender roles to be, how
very.
they...
You're in
But
this
didn't
box,
you
I
guys
am
always-
here.
When you talked about gender roles in the pod,
That wasn't it. I was very clear on who I was, and
who
he
you were.
loved that. He always said, like,
he
I
thought
love-
he did.
Right.
He's like, I think I could.
I
do
don't think that all men could handle that though.
I mean, he said in the pods that he was like, my mom always says I need a strong woman, and I'm like, okay.
Well, here I am.
But I think you wanted to push how strong I was.
Yeah, I
So
wonder.
you think after that fight, it kind of just shifted with everything?
dynamic.
The dynamic.
Part of me, looking back, thinks he never really got over it. I don't think he
Were
did.
you guys
challenging.
still intimate after that fight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were.
How was the intimacy?
I was gonna say, was the intimacy good?
It was good. And I've heard, he has commented on it. That was never a problem for us.
She said that was not
Never.
the
I heard,
issue.
Never.
and I can tell you now, that was not a
It was
problem.
never. It wasn't.
I was secretly rooting for you guys because, like, I understand how sometimes the banter could be like, kind of be like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But I feel like you need that kind of banter in your relationship. And I was like, oh,
To
this
see.
is cute. Like, they can joke around with each other. But then there were also moments where you could see you guys were both very, like, strong personalities. And I was
Yes.
like, ooh, how's this gonna play out? Like,
Yeah.
how is this gonna play out? So now, actually meeting you and hearing you speak, I'm like, I think you guys maybe did have different ideas on just gender roles that obviously weren't shown. or clarified, or just it didn't match up in that sense. But
Yeah, I mean, he always says he likes to troll, so he likes to push buttons. And even one of the things, I work in fashion, so when me criticizing his hat, he's asking for my opinion on everything, but then
Right.
purposely getting stuff that I'm like, no,
You're like,
you
stop
just
that.
asked me, and I'm like,
what's the problem?
don't get it. But I mean, do we all really like what our significant other wears?
No.
No.
Sorry.
Cheyenne's face.
Why did
just
I?
now.
I mean, you're
I'm about to say, excuse me, man, my husband is very cute, okay? He puts on his little outfits, and I think he does a good job.
Go Zachary from your
Every
work.
now and then, when I'm like, don't you think you should wear different shorts or something? But I would say like 98% of the time,
You like his style.
I like his style.
Zach does have a very nice style.
He
I will
does,
say that.
right?
He does.
Look, right? He does. He looks good.
He looks nice.
I ain't looking.
I say you like his clothes.
I'm like, is there something you guys aren't trying to tell me?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Alex, how did being on the show challenge your views or ideas on love and like relationships?
Well, I feel like I went into it having an idea of what I wanted, and then I left with a completely different outlook on it. I really thought I wanted a man that made me feel very secure, and not saying I don't want that, but like more so like a security guard and secure,
Yeah.
like would really protect me physically and was just like a strong man. And sometimes that can turn into controlling. And I just realized I needed somebody who is going to put more effort into understanding my softer side, because I didn't feel soft in that relationship.
You felt like you had to have a guard.
Yeah, I felt like I was always kind of, I don't want to say fighting for my life, but like just always had my defenses up,
Yeah.
you know, trying to like prove something.
Yeah. You want a guy to put you in your soft girl era.
Right, and I didn't feel soft at all looking back.
Any lessons from this experience that you take into your daily life now? Just in terms of dating, relationships?
Yeah, just what I look for in a man. It's completely different. I just need to make sure that he's emotionally intelligent. He has the patience to have a conversation, understand both sides. We're not talking over each other. We give each other space. We're just, you know, each other's teammate, but in the most respectful way.
Are you currently dating someone?
No, I'm
As single as
Are you
a
taking
free bird?
it to-
It's just a free bird.
correct.
I feel like you needed to take that break, like
For
just for
sure,
yourself. You
for
felt like you had to be.
I was not in a good space after, because I felt like I was manipulated, and I had to unlearn a lot of things that I had just went through.
That's real.
A lot of things triggered me that I didn't have triggers for. I had to really like self-reflect on who I was, remember who I was,
Yeah.
learn to love myself again, and then kind of just home back into home and family, because they're the most important to
Yeah.
me. So
Yeah.
Now
was,
that the reunion, sorry,
Go ahead.
with the reunion being over, now everything is done and said. Was that like kind of closure?
I thought it would have been. It was really unfortunate how it went. I felt like there wasn't, and it's unfortunate to say, I don't feel like there was a lot of growth on his end. I feel like he still stands on what he did, and even talking throughout the reunion with all the other couples. You know, you hear everybody slowly taking accountability on their part, addressing where they went wrong. I didn't fully get that from him. He said certain things, but the main things and the conflict he was still standing on. She took a nap. And I'm like, I had to go to work. So
needed to sleep.
Yo,
You know?
I've been loving all your I need a nap memes.
No, literally,
I'm so
because
sorry, but I'm like, ooh.
I love a nap.
Oh, we know.
I love it. I love to take a nap. It's my thing.
So you were standing on you love naps.
I do.
Yeah, he's like, no growth.
You needed that.
No
that was
growth,
your
no
mental.
growth.
You
I
said
do.
I
No
needed to recharge.
Right.
Let me recharge.
Literally.
That is so
That is-
funny.
I feel like that coincides with my next question is, you know, with reality, I've never really been in I've never been on reality TV. But
What is she talking about?
you film with me all the
I
time.
know, but I want
That's just as bad as Kyle saying she's never been drunk with us. You're on her level of bullshit right now. That was crazy.
It was funny because I was reading it and I'm like,
Yo, we
but I
quarantined
have
for
been
a
on
whole
reality.
year in a
Okay,
reality TV
anyways.
bubble.
That's crazy.
Okay, I haven't been
Take
on
it
reality.
back.
Okay,
She has to
I
crack
haven't
it.
been on reality TV in depth like that, like with like the pressures
Got it.
of it solely being on me,
Mm-hmm.
with people. Let me take that back to people have critiqued me, but anyways,
Just ask her the
Anyway.
question.
with reality TV. I'm sorry, reality TV can be intense.
Yes.
What mental health practices or routines have you done so far? Like, is anything that you've done during the show? Like, was there any like mental health checks that you did for yourself?
Well, we have a therapist on site
Oh, I love that.
if we ever need to talk to somebody.
Okay.
And I love her. She is the best. But therapy, but besides that, meditation. Always meditated every morning. Just trying to stay grounded
Right.
and remembering why you were here, because all the noise from the other couples can really try to interfere with your relationship. You're just like, okay, I'm here for you.
Yes.
And let's see if you're here for me, and let's figure this out.
Yeah.
Stay in the
Yeah.
lane.
And
focus.
like, you talking about like after the show and like you having to unlearn things or anything that you're doing now, like with yourself with mental health.
Constantly working out, eating healthy, because I feel like body positivity is
You
big
look
on your
good.
mental.
You look so good.
Yeah.
When you walked out, I was like, God damn.
Yes, I lost some weight, you know. So yeah, but just refocusing on me, like
Yeah.
loving myself, and therapy, and yeah, just my
Just read.
yeah.
Are you reading everything online? Or are you trying to like do your
You-
best to
You know
block
what?
the noise?
I was at first. I couldn't help myself because I wanted
Yeah.
to know
Yeah,
what
you
were they
can't- you
saying.
can't
Like, what are
help
people
yourself.
saying about
What
me?
do y'all think? And
Yeah.
then I had to like literally pull back. I'm like, okay, I can't do this because it actually is messing with me.
Yeah.
Like I was breaking down for the first week. Like it was
Yeah.
really hard. But after like I think another week, I was like, today is the last day I'm going to be sad, and I'm not going to let anybody
real.
else determine how I feel, how I wake
Who
up
I am,
today,
yeah.
Yeah.
what type of day I have. Like these are people who have no lives, who are just trolling. They don't know me, so
They come in the groves.
Yeah, definitely
There's
give
so many of them.
yourself,
Give yourself grace.
yeah,
Definitely give yourself grace.
yeah.
Because you're gonna have good days with it, and then you have bad days, and then you're gonna have those random nights where you can't sleep, and you're like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna look."
Go down
And
the
then you're
rabbit
like,
hole.
"Why the fuck did I look?
Yeah.
Like, why did I even check just to mess with myself for what?"
Right.
So it's like in those moments, give yourself grace,
Yeah.
a lot of it, because you know, at the other side of it is people always say, you signed up for this. What did you think was going to happen?
Right.
But it's like, I honestly didn't think you were going to call me
Right,
the
call
fat
me these
bitch with the
names.
ugly this and this and that. I didn't think that. Like,
Right.
But,
I didn't
but
know they
that's
were
like,
gonna edit
you know
out
what I mean?
90%
Like,
of the conversation.
I didn't
Right.
think that, actually. I didn't think you were going to
you're
come on
gonna
my page and
dig,
tell
yeah.
me everything that's wrong with myself.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think the biggest thing is like, just give yourself grace. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. But the biggest thing is like, all I've learned is to care about what I think about myself. And as long as like my friends and family know me, the rest of the world can like kick rocks.
Yeah.
And it's
Literally.
nice because you guys are now meeting in person, where it's like now you have someone who you can call on or be like,
Right.
hey, like,
Like, hey, how do you deal with this?
Yeah.
I can't talk to any of those other people, but you've been in this space. Because sometimes you do need someone who's in a similar space. Because there's things Shanan goes through where I don't understand. And I'll be like, just put the phone down. She's like, but it's not, you don't understand. And I'm
Yeah.
like, so it's, take advantage of this newfound relationship and just knowing that there is someone else who's gone through this and
Yeah.
she's still going. She
Still
looks
going through
great.
it.
She's
Yeah.
still going
Look,
through
You're
it.
still going through.
Still going through it.
She still goes through
I
it.
honestly think I'm crazy. Like, I think the fact that I keep signing the contracts, I'm like, fuck it. Like,
There's
my soul has already been taken from me.
I'm like, there's
Just
a certain
keep
level of
it.
masochism here that I don't understand.
for sure. I'm like, every now and then I'm telling myself, this is it. And then I'm like, just kidding. Let's just keep going. At this point, what else can you say about me?
Right.
I mean, I'm sure they'll find something else, but still.
That's how I feel at this moment. I'm like, okay, what else?
What else?
What else?
What else? Tell me about
Please
myself.
tell me what
Okay.
else.
But I
But
love
you.
that you're taking actions of like, and I love that they had a therapist,
therapist, yeah.
within
I
there.
didn't know that.
Because I feel like that would be crucial.
And she
during
still checks in
times-
on us too.
Does she?
Nice.
Like,
That's
are you guys? How are
awesome.
you guys doing with? This episode's gonna come out. call me if you need
That's
anything.
nice.
Oh, I love that.
I
And
like
if you
that.
have your own therapist, they of course cover it. They're like however many
Okay,
sessions you need.
Netflix.
Yeah, no,
That's good.
they're very pro like mental health because they know what it is.
Because they know how they set you guys.
Did the men and the women have the same therapist, or was it like?
I'm not sure if she worked with the men as well. I just know she was on our side.
Hey, she was
Yeah.
with us.
I'm not sure.
That's one thing I do appreciate about like the networks. They do have those things available. Like I know every year I get an email from Viacom and they're like, here's all the mental health stuff. Whether you're dealing with this,
Yeah.
go here. If you're dealing with this is the group for you. Like,
Yeah.
and they give a bunch of different options and
Yeah.
choices. So
I think they've learned that over the years because it has not always been like that.
No, it's-
I would say
Yeah.
that's been the last
Like,
maybe like 2
2
years.
years.
But
I'm sure with the rate of like how social media is and so many platforms and so many forms of like where you can see where somebody's talking about you
Yeah.
or
cyberbullying.
It's
Because now it's on
changed.
TikTok and
It's
people are
on-
just making videos.
Right, that's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. You
Yeah,
can make a video and
analyzing.
have you right there and critique like in this and this and this.
Yeah.
So,
They are like their own little PI detectives. I'm like, where did you guys get this information?
girl,
like, how do
there's
you have
one
the
that I've been looking
time?
at, and I'm like, you need to be hired by like the FBI because you're pulling up birth certificates
Yeah.
and all type of stuff. Like that is crazy.
that is
that
nuts.
is too much time. I don't have that much time.
I
on
also
my
feel like
hands.
that's just such an infringement of like privacy and just
Yeah,
like,
but you gotta think.
it's
There's
all
some
public,
people
but it's
that
just public record.
this is all they do.
And
Yeah.
then this is
So
why
they have the time for it because
Yeah.
they've built their brand off of doing this.
Yeah.
So it's just it's one of those things where you have to eat it.
has your family been affected by any
No.
of no?
No,
That's good, that's
that was
good.
my biggest fear.
I know you're big on your
anyone
family.
talking about my brothers,
Right.
anyone talking about my dad or my mom. That
Right.
was like my biggest fear because they didn't ask to be a part of this.
Right.
They were very supportive and they showed up and I'm like, don't talk about them at all.
Like don't
Yeah.
they're off limits.
Yeah.
I think everything I've seen about everybody
Oh,
loves
they
your
love
dad.
them.
Yeah, like I feel like everybody has
Adore,
your brothers were like all nice. Like I
Yeah.
felt like there was nothing negative to say about them.
wasn't.
Like yeah.
But that's how people in real life feel about my dad. Like he is probably the most likable person. He is friends with the 7-Eleven guy or makes
Aw,
friends
yeah.
with, a random person in the store. The funny story with him is when I was choosing the university to go to, he was in the line for Giant and I needed like $3,000 for tuition and he came home, he's like, oh, I got the other $3,000. And I'm like, how did you do that? He's like, oh, I ran into the president at the store and yeah, he said he would give it to you. What?
I love that.
Like he
yes,
literally,
Dad.
he can make it work. He's
So you can make it work to you.
like, what is going on?
I need his script. No.
Right.
I'm telling
love
you,
that.
everyone loves him.
That's awesome. I got you, girl. You're
Right.
in.
Okay, thanks.
I think that's so cute.
Okay. Was there a scene that you think was taken out of context?
Besides the fight, the breakup,
Can you clear it up?
or even meeting the parents. There's so many things that were taken out of context.
Okay, let's do the meeting the parents.
Yeah.
When I saw Tim meet your parents, it felt extremely genuine. When I
Yes.
saw you meet Tim's parents, you looked like you did not want to be there.
It was the hand in the pocket for me. I was like,
Would you like to clear it up?
So yeah. So as you saw, Tim did exactly his big one.
He did great.
He did great. Me, on the other hand, the night before, when he met my parents, that was
Yes.
the night before or the day before I met his parents. That was a
Okay,
Saturday.
in show world, it's not. In show world, it doesn't come off
It
back
doesn't
to
seem
back.
like
you're
that,
telling
yeah.
all these
Okay.
stories. So that was a Saturday. That night we went to dinner. As we went to dinner, I'm asking him or telling him, thank you so much for doing that. I
It was a
feel
good movie. Yeah.
so great moving
Yeah.
forward now that that's done, and how do you feel? And the first thing he says is, I, have doubts, but we're going to still try. And I'm like,
You just read my dad a whole letter.
You just made my dad tear up.
Cry.
You literally have my whole family just so happy. What?
Yeah, to have doubts.
Doubt.
they didn't even show the part where my dad said, because he can barely walk. He's like, I'm
Yeah.
going to find the strength to walk you down the aisle.
Oh my
Girl, we all lost it.
God.
I lost
I'm losing
it.
it.
Me and my mom were both bawling. I'm like, I can't.
No.
I cannot.
Oh.
And then this man had the nerve to say he
Say,
had doubts.
Doubts?
So that happened after the same day that he met your parents.
Did
Did the
hours later.
whole shebang.
Went to dinner.
Went to dinner, and then he said he has doubts.
Did he explain what doubts he had?
So why did he do all that?
I'm mad.
Just he.
Tim, we're mad at you.
I'm like,
Yeah. I was
No
pissed.
way.
I was very pissed.
Okay, so you were pissed.
Because he was just saying, I have doubts. And I'm like, what are your doubts coming from? Why didn't you say
Right.
this? And he's just like, I just feel like there's some things we need to work on. But he wasn't really clear. He was just like,
Right.
we just have things we need to work on, but we're gonna get there. And that whole dinner was supposed to be us just having
Celebrating.
a great time. It
Hater
was such a
weekend.
great dinner. And now I'm like, I hate you. Like, I'm so
Right.
mad at you. Why would you do that? And so the next day, meeting his parents, I was not even in the space to wanting to meet them. And then I slept at our apartment by myself because his parents drove up that night and they got to his house and he was like, I'm going to stay with my parents. We're going to formally meet. So
Right.
we're just going
Yeah.
to sleep separate.
Yeah.
The next day I'm like getting ready to leave and I'm like crying. I'm like, I don't want to do this because I don't want to drag his parents into this. Like I dragged my parents into this if he has doubts.
He has doubts.
We need to figure out what these doubts are. We need to figure out where we stand before we do this.
Yeah.
And by the time I even got there, we're talking outside and I'm like, I don't even want to go in here. And he's like, why? And I'm like, I just feel like we need
Like,
clarity.
clear-
Like
yeah.
what are we doing?
Like, clear it up. What are your
Are you about to break up with me? And he's like, no, like I just, that's just all I was
just
saying.
have
But
doubts.
I'm just like,
So he never like truly communicated.
no, he
his
never
doubts.
communicated. We had one time back in Mexico where he's like, do you feel like we're compatible? And I was like, I just think we have a communication barrier. We communicate differently and we just have to learn that. But compatibility, I don't think that's the problem.
Right.
Clearly I was wrong about that. But yeah, no, when we did that, I really just didn't want to be there. I still wanted to give grace to his parents because
Right.
they had lost their two daughters. The other daughter had passed in May that year.
I didn't
Yes.
realize
Oh,
it
I
was
did
so
not realize it was that
recent.
recent.
It was that recent, and I think he was still grieving
Grieving,
from
yeah.
that, which we talked about. And so I didn't also want to shut it down either because it's like, you came all this way.
Yeah.
They drove the sister's truck. I'm like, I can only
Oh my
imagine how emotional that
gosh.
was. So it's just like all these factors. I'm like, okay, I still am going to show up, but why are we doing this?
Like, what do you want?
So do you think that even though from watching it you look disengaged, don't want to be there, do you think that his parents felt your energy as
Or tension.
or do you think they knew like why you kind of had
I don't think so.
Okay.
At least I didn't get that vibe.
Okay.
I just know his mom kept saying to him, perfect doesn't exist. That was the main thing. And me and them talked on our
Right.
own. We talked about religion. We talked about what marriage looks like, what I would be for them as, coming into the
Use
family.
the word
daughter.
vessel.
Yes, a
Vessel.
vessel
I was
for your
like-
family.
I was like, oh, this is intense.
Yes, we had a whole very, very deep conversation and, what holy matrimony meant to us. And
Yeah.
because his family grew up heavy in the church. So just trying to talk to them about it. But it was also part of me was just a little uncomfortable because I'm just like, I feel like I'm selling a dream when I don't even know if this man even wants to be with me.
Right.
And I'm trying to understand why. Where are these doubts coming from?
So Tim made it seem like you slept once the cameras were down.
Yeah.
Is that true?
So, to give a timeline, I met his parents at 11 a.m. We were done filming, talking to each other, him talking to his parents, me talking to his parents, us talking together, even had lunch together. We were done around 6 o'clock.
Damn.
Yeah,
So you had a day.
that's a long day.
Yeah.
At 6, I decided to take an hour nap because I had to go to work that night. And that was the one time that I actually had to bartend. I bartend like once a week.
Oh, nice.
And my schedule was 9 p.m. to like 3 a.m. Already up 11 to
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just a long day.
And it's draining.
It's draining. And, you know, I even had an emotional day the day before, so it's just like...
And I still don't know if you like me or
Right,
not.
and I still don't even know if you like me.
Right, you're questioning yourself. You have
Yeah,
to talk to
okay.
parents.
Yeah, and so I'm like, okay,
It's
you
a
know...
lot. It's very taxing.
It is. And the one moment that I got, I'm like, I even told his parents, I'm like, hey, sorry, I have to work. I'm just going to take a quick nap because I don't like have any time. I haven't really slept, but it was great meeting you. I'm definitely going to see you guys, you know, before the wedding. We're going to chat, but I just really got to take this nap. And I went, took an hour nap, and then I drove all the way back to DC in my apartment, changed for work, and then went to work. And then when I came back, I forgot to text him because I crashed. Like I went, like no, not crashed, like physically.
I was about to say, wait, what?
No, like I crashed, went to
went to
bed.
sleep, yes.
Like as soon as I got home, I crashed.
yeah.
And I didn't text him, and he was really upset that I didn't text him when I made it home. And he texted me at 8 in the morning, like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sorry, babe. I totally passed out." Because he was still at his parents' house because they were visiting, and so I went back to my apartment. So that's why I had to text him. But
No way.
He made it seem like mid-convo, you were like, hey, y'all.
Gotta go.
literally,
Like, did you
we had talked about.
Actually, I'm not gonna
We
stop.
talked and talked and talked, and we had lunch, and it was right after lunch. I kind of got the itis, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just go to sleep real quick. So
It's crazy how, like, I know Cheyenne gets this all the time where people will be like, you know, you're just sitting there talking. People don't understand the cameras,
The
all
lights.
the energy, the lights. It is physically, like,
It is a lot.
taxing
It's like
and
the energy's
draining.
being sucked out of the
Literally.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, you can literally just be sitting there, and then you're like, I am exhausted, but it's completely valid. And it's like the machines around you are like,
and not
Yeah.
even just that, I want to be very
lot.
present in
Yes.
the moment and
Right.
like very attentive and paying attention to what's being said and like really engaging. So that's also energy. So.
Yeah.
can
When
talk
you
for
told
hours.
his parents, "Hey, I'm gonna take this moment because I got to work and all this," how did his parents?
They were
react?
fine. They're like, okay, no worries.
yeah.
They
So they were
did not
understanding.
care.
And it just seemed like he was like, "You did this to my family. That was so disrespectful."
The crazy part about it is, even when he had left. When I went to take a nap, he ran to the store. They were in his office. He ran to the store. He's like, okay, babe, I'll be right back. And he came back. He's like, oh, he like nudged me. He's like, telling me what time it is. He's probably like, you got like 20 more minutes, just FYI.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, thanks, babe. He was fine with it. And then when I left and I called him, I was like, hey, you know, now that, you know, I'm on my way back home, how did your parents really feel about me? He's like, oh no, they loved you. You know, typical parent stuff. They love you. Nothing's bad. Just let me know when you let me know when you make it to work. I'm like, okay.
So it made you feel like, okay, this was
You
a
felt
good.
fine.
You felt fine. You felt confident.
I felt so good.
made it through the day.
And then the next day, which is breakup day,
Wait.
That was the day after you
1,
met his
2,
parents?
3. Oh my gosh.
That's what you did mention. You said
That's a lot.
yeah.
The next day, I call him and I'm like, hey, my stepmom didn't want to film. And so I was like, my stepmom wants to meet you. We had an off day on Thursday. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let's do that. And like, you know, there was even little things where we were planning our next dates and he didn't really seem engaging. I'm like, are you okay? He was like, just pick whatever. I don't really care. I'm like, is there anything I need to be worried about? He's like, no. I'll see you later. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I even had a flat tire that day and I couldn't even call him to help me. Like he was
Because-
nowhere to be found. And that happened often. Like there would be times where we would go to dates and I'd be like, hey babe, I'd rather like stop at my apartment first to grab
Yeah.
something because I didn't bring it. He's like, oh, I don't want to be late. Or hey, I'm at the house. Do you mind picking me up and we'll go to because my tags were like expired for a week
Yeah.
when I first got back. And when he was like, I was like, can you come pick me up on your way back to like our apartment? He's like, I gotta get off the beltway and then I gotta do this. And I'm like,
But I'm
You know
your
what?
lady.
I'm like, call it Uber. Don't worry about it. Never
Yeah.
mind. I'm like,
It makes you
everything's
uncomfortable
being-
to even ask
Right.
for
And
help.
And so I just didn't feel like I could even ask him for anything. I just was like, let me just stay
So you're
on
walking
Didn't
around
necessarily
eggshells.
want this
Literally.
independent woman, but he also didn't want to help the woman in times of need.
yeah.
Wild.
So was there a moment where you felt your true self was at odds with how production/producers wanted to portray you?
Yeah, I feel like I was portrayed as the villain. Like, there wasn't much context on who I was. Nobody really got to know me in the beginning. I don't feel like anyone really knows my story, who I am.
No.
And, you know, I mean, it is what it is, like reality TV, but unfortunately, I just felt like I didn't get to really showcase like why I was there, what I've dealt with in dating, what I was expecting. All you just see me is crying. I'm crying in like every scene. I'm like, okay.
Do you want to clarify if you are clean or not?
Oh, yes, I am clean. And let's talk about that, please.
She said yes, actually.
Let's talk about that. So what was unfortunate is people are associating dirty and messy, and it's really like infuriating because I say in the beginning, I'm messy. I do. I have a lot of clothes. I work in fashion.
You
I get
so many clothes.
I have so many clothes. Okay, so you ever I'm going to give you a scenario. So you ever have a situation where you just start cleaning and then all of a sudden you got like 5 outfits on, you're reading an old journal, you're looking at old pictures. Yeah. And it's like, how did I get here? And it's like, oh my
You
God.
guys should actually like connect.
Literally.
That's her.
And I'll be like, oh wait, I'm cleaning right now.
I'm literally in the middle of packing for this trip, but also I'm like, wow, I have all these clothes. Wow, I need to donate stuff. And I start packing stuff away in trash bags. I'm like, well, how? I'm not about to go get boxes. Here, I got trash bags.
Trash bags, yeah.
I just start
I do the
like
same.
bagging everything. And then I'm just like, wait, I actually don't have time to clean this up, and now I have to go. How did this happen? How did we get here?
And then it gets worse than how it actually started.
How did we get here?
Because I literally had cleaners come the day before I left, and I was like, clean everything but the clothes because I need to go through those. My kitchen was clean. My couch was clean. My living room was clean. Everything was clean. I just had bags of clothes literally everywhere that I'm like, I have a smaller apartment. Like, I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put it. And then I'm like, oh, wait, no, we have cameras.
Now we have cameras everywhere.
I don't know what to do.
How did Tim feel about seeing your place when he walked in and there was stuff everywhere?
I know it looks like he's like uncomfortable, but the whole time he's like, babe, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. He's like, it's literally just clothes. He's like, your bed's made. Your vanity's clean. He's like, everything's clean. You
Did
literally
they
just have
just
clothes.
not show us the clean areas?
They didn't.
Right.
They didn't show the
I
kitchen.
feel like they showed
They didn't
everything
show my
that was
little
just, like,
office
mess.
space. They just focused on
They
the
zoomed in.
closet.
They zoomed in on the bags.
They
For
zoomed
sure
in.
did zoom in on the
Zoomed
bags.
in your closet. Everything down.
I'm like, okay, all right, here we are. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
To be honest, that was probably one of my favorite scenes, just because it was so like you just didn't expect it, and I was like, this is a real human, and sometimes it gets like that, like
It does, and I just didn't know. I was like, I really do have a lot of clothes that I need to get rid of, and I just needed to purge. I have so
Like, I
many
was
clothes.
purging,
But you
y'all.
know, as like a girl, like especially me,
Yes.
my weight fluctuates. So sometimes I'll have something like, oh, when I become a size 2 again, I'm gonna wear that, and you
Yeah.
keep
Oh,
it. Or
that's
like
me right now.
Oh, when I like get
when I do this,
Right.
you're like, oh, that's good for this.
right, and like I
Yeah.
gained weight over the years, so I was like, oh, you know, I need to order more stuff, but I'm gonna still hold on to this because I have hope that I'm
and
gonna
then
be
it's
Yes.
like
small
I
again.
have my seasonal clothes,
Right.
and it's like, yeah,
Yeah, no, it was
I
bad.
get it.
It was bad.
Okay, we're getting
They didn't
there.
show my
to
bathroom. My
so
bathroom's
funny.
clean
the
too.
end.
My bathroom's
So I'm
clean
trying
too.
to pick
I
out
promise
like
I'm
the best
clean.
ones.
Okay.
It's messy.
I like this one. If you could give advice to someone who's about to join the show, what would it be?
My advice would to mentally check in with yourself first, because it is a lot. It is not for the weak to do that experiment. To really focus on what it is that you want out of a relationship, know who you are, and just be prepared for the worst. Because I've literally had the worst thrown at me, I feel like, that I did not know was going to happen. But just be open. Literally just be open. And it's so much fun. When in the pods, I had the best time.
What are you most excited about? About the future, and in terms like, is there anything that you want to use your platform for now?
Yeah. So one thing I actually didn't say at the reunion, but I said later, I actually made my reunion dress. So like that's another thing you guys didn't know. I've been sewing since I was like a kid. So
That's so cool. I love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I
So
wish we got to see more of that, because I kept seeing it was like fashion strategist or like
fashion content managers.
yeah, I was like,
I didn't know what that
I didn't know what
was.
it meant, but when I started going through your social media, I was like, fashion designer, and I was like, wait
Yeah.
a minute, this is completely different. So
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing
For
what you got
sure,
going
yeah.
on.
New things.
So are
to
you
come.
going to drop a line?
Stay tuned.
Okay.
Yes, I love that.
I love that too.
Okay, so we're gonna do a speed round.
Okay.
I'm
I'm
gonna go
scared.
first.
I'm just kidding.
Give me my water.
It's gonna be
Yes
10
and no
questions.
only, no.
You can only give us a yes or no.
Okay.
Or a,
No, there's no It's a yes or no. Are you ready?
I just want the sound effects.
Okay.
Okay.
let's go.
Did you go on Love is Blind to genuinely find love?
Yes.
Was there a moment when you considered leaving the show early?
Yes.
Damn it, I wish I could ask follow-up questions.
Faster shy.
Did you feel pressure from producers to act a certain way?
No.
Were you surprised by any of the edits when you watched the show?
Yes.
Did you remain friends with any cast members after filming?
Yes.
Was the experience more challenging than you expected?
Yes.
Did you have any regrets? Did you have any regrets about your time on the show?
Yes.
Was there someone you connected with that viewers didn't see?
Yes.
Would you participate in another reality TV show?
Yes.
Did you find any of the public's reactions to the show hurtful?
Yes.
Did you ever have doubts about the Love is Blind concept while filming?
Yes.
Was there anyone you had an instant crush on when you first met them?
Yes. Oh wait. Hold on. I think I thought about.
Hold on, think about it. He said, take it back.
No, because I took that as like met like in the pods, like instant crush that you connect
No,
with.
in person.
No.
Damn it, I was about to
No.
say, tell
Sorry.
us who.
Literally thinking like first day who
That
I
is
like
so
met.
funny. Did you ever wish you could break the rules and see someone's face early?
Yes.
Were there moments when you felt the producers tried to stir up drama?
Yes.
Did you ever feel jealous of another cast member's connection?
Yes.
Keep going.
I like the honesty.
That was very honest. Was there a scene you wish had made it into the final cut?
Yes.
Did you have a backup person you considered connecting with in the pods?
Say that again?
Did you have a backup person you considered connecting with in the pods?
Yes.
Have you ever been approached by someone recognizing you from the show?
Yes.
Juicy. Did you watch the show with the same people you filmed with?
No.
Was there a cast member who was completely different on camera or off camera?
Yes.
Did you return the bracelet?
Yes.
I'm not laughing. I feel like it's me.
I'm not laughing either, please God.
She laughed.
Yes, I did.
You want to do this one?
Final question: is love truly blind?
No.
No.
She said, you heard it, y'all.
You guys heard it.
Not for me, it is.
Aww.
Thanks for coming on.
Of course.
Yes,
Thanks for
thank
having
you
me.
so
was
much.
I know. I feel like we asked you a ton of questions. Is there anything that we did not talk about that you would want people to know about you? It does not have to be show related. It could just be about Alex.
I'm not mean at all. I swear I'm not mean. I'm actually like the nicest person. People were saying, oh, people who say they're the nicest person aren't really nice. No, I promise you. I'm not a mean girl. I don't like bullying. I don't like any of like being a hater on anyone. That's just never been my style. So I am not a mean girl.
Are the girls on the show saying that you were mean?
Not the girls on the show, just people.
Just people
Online.
Yeah.
Watching the show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
With how
thought
they
someone on the
portrayed
show
you
said
on
you were
the-
being mean.
I'm close with all of the girls from filming.
Okay.
You don't
Yeah.
have a group chat?
We do.
So you're a girl's girl.
I am. 100%.
Okay.
Love that.
Is there anything else?
Stay
Look
tuned.
out for her brand.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. We'll have to have you back.
Yes.
I know. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning into the Think Loud Crew podcast. We're so excited that we had Alex on and that she got to tell her side of the story. I feel like
Yes.
sometimes we watch it and that there's so many missing pieces, but now you were able to kind of help us get a bigger picture, put the puzzle together.
Yes.
Don't forget to follow us on Think Loud Crew. You can like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube as well, and you can follow me at Shy Not Shy.
You can follow me at rKyleLynn.
And you can follow me at Hair by Shanan C.
And where can people find you, Alex?
Pretty Lil Lil Birdie Byrdie.
Girl, when did you make that up? How old were you when
When
you
I tell
made
you,
that
I've been
up?
trying to get rid of it for so long. I've been trying to get rid of
I
it.
love
Can you
it.
say that one more time for the slow people like me?
It'll be easier if I say this. You ever hear like, oh, I heard from a pretty little bird?
Yeah.
'Cause my last name's Bird. But yeah, Pretty Little Bird.
I like that.
Okay, we're gonna work on next year.
Sorry, somebody else has the handle
was
I want.
cute. Oh
I can't get it.
God, that was
What's the handle? I'm so curious.
That you want?
Oh, my name. I just
Yeah.
want Alexander
Alex
Byrd. Yeah.
I would
Oh,
want you to have
Alexander
that too.
Yeah.
I want you to have that also.
I want it too.
I want you to
So
have
my
that
Instagram,
also.
give me that
Like
handle. I'm
sorry.
Give up yours so I can have it.
Literally.
Oh yeah, I want you to have it.
Middle initial. What if you put a middle initial or your middle initial?
I don't think I think I've tried every option.
Put a 1, 2, 3 at the back. Okay, guys. What do we say then?
And don't forget to tell your crew about our crew.